Welcome back On Guard Army. Today we are going to be going over a almost post-rotation legal Miraidon deck. And the reason I say almost is because there's one card in this list that we will be swapping for a card that is coming out in our upcoming set. Not Paldean Fates, but the set after that. We don't fully know the name yet. But to start off, we have 3 Miraidon EX. This has the ability Tandem Unit, which lets us search our deck for up to 2 basic lightning Pokemon and put them directly onto our bench, then shuffle our deck. And we have the attack Photon Blaster for 2 lightning and 1 colorless that does 220 damage. Then we have the support of the deck. We have Regieleki VMAX. This is both a Forest Seal Stone target that you can put onto either the Regieleki V or VMAX that can search your deck for any card, but also has the ability Transistor, which makes our basic lightning Pokemon do 30 more damage to our opponent's active Pokemon for each Regieleki in play. So with one in play, we're doing 250, with another one in play, we are doing 280. This is good for both boosting up our Miraidon damage and boosting up our Raikou damage. The Regieleki Vs also have relevant attacks. Switching Bolt for 30 lets us pivot to the bench, and Lightning Wall does 100 and makes this Pokemon take 100 less damage from attacks, making it essentially a 300 HP basic. Regieleki VMAX also has a nice attack as well. It's not boosted up by Transistor, but it is a nice solid 220 for 1 lightning and 2 colorless. You can also use DTE with it to go 1 lightning and double turbo energy, which works very well because we are playing 1 double turbo energy in this list as well. It also has free retreat, which makes pivoting around and using Electric Generator on our bench very good as well. If you want to swing with a tankier attacker, Regieleki VMAX is a nice attacker in certain niche scenarios as well. Then we have 2 Raikou V, has the ability Fleet-Footed, which while it's in the active, we can draw a card. It has the attack Lightning Rondo, which does 20 plus 20 more for each benched Pokemon, both ours and our opponents, so we can hit up to 220 with this before modifying damage with Regieleki VMAX. This is a nice little 2 energy attack that we can hit things hard with. It's less intensive than the Miraidon, meaning that we can get more energy onto the field. Even just allocating 1 to this off an Electro Generator, we can attach and then swing with it. It's super nice, and being able to boost it up with the Regieleki VMAX makes this all the better. Then we have Iron Hands EX. It is a little intensive on energy for a format without flaaffy, but Ampu Very Much is still a very important attack, so having 1 of this in the list is really good, which is also why we are playing a singular double turbo energy, which we have Forest Seal Stone in order to search out. This Ampu Very Much does 120 damage, and if a Pokemon was knocked out by damage from this attack, you take an additional prize card off of it. It also has a second attack for 2 lightning and 1 colorless that does 160, but at that point you'd rather be swinging with any of your other attackers that can be doing more damage for less. Then we have Squawkabilly EX. This is great for setup. It has the ability Squawk and Seize, which lets us discard our hand and draw 6 cards on the first turn of the game. It also has Motivate, so going second if we don't get off a big attack, we could theoretically go Motivate, hit, and then accelerate 2 energy to a Miraidon or something else on our bench. It's nice for getting our board set up if we don't hit the nuts on turn 1 going second anyway. Then we have Mew EX. This is a great free retreat pivot aside from the Regieleki, and when we inevitably play down our hand, we have the ability Restart, which can draw until we have 3 cards in hand. It also has an attack Genome Hacking, which if we attach a Lightning and then attach a DTE back to back, we can actually swing with this attack. It's definitely potentially relevant, and we might want to include an Energy Switch in the list, so we can go Electro Generator, Energy Switch, attach DTE to set it up in a single turn, but I'm not 100% sure if that's necessary. That's something that up to you if you want to try it out. I may try it out myself eventually, but for right now, we do not have an Energy Switch in the list. And then we have a Lumineon V. This is great for tutoring out any of our supporters throughout our game. It's also another Forest Seal Stone target in addition to Raikou and our Regielekis. So great for consistency throughout the mid-game, or in the early game if we absolutely need to hit a supporter. Then we have 4 Professor's Research. This allows us to discard our hand and draw 7 cards. Great for being able to draw through our deck as quickly as possible, because the more we're thinning, the more easily we're able to hit our Electro Generators and hit all of the pieces that we need in order to set up to win the game. Then we have 2 Ionos for a bit of disruptive draw, as well as being able to put cards back into our deck while drawing more cards without binning resources. Iono is very useful. In the late game, we can also Iono ourselves down to a lower hand size and then draw more cards off Mew EX. It's not as strong as, like, Iono into Barrel, but having the Mew does allow Iono to be good in the late game, even when we are ahead on prizes. So it's nice having the Iono paired with Mew in this case. Then we have 2 Arven, which can search our deck for an item card and a Pokemon tool card. This can grab us for a Seal Stone, Bravery Charm, and also EXP Share, which we are playing 1 of now that Flaaffy is rotated out. But also, in this format, we will have Prime Catcher. This can also tutor out Prime Catcher and Forest Seal Stone, allowing us to do a ton of crazy plays to knock out our opponent's key pieces. We don't have Prime Catcher in this current list, as it is not out yet, but the Escape Rope that is in this list, which rotates out when rotation hits, will most likely be replacing it in there. We will most likely replace the Escape Rope with Prime Catcher, and then since we have a 3rd Gusting effect now, we could potentially cut a boss for maybe Energy Switch, or another Switch Cart maybe. But for now, we're keeping this as it is, because this is still legal for current standard format, but super easy to update once rotation hits. Then we have 3 Boss's Orders, because having 3 Gust cards is really important in a deck like this that just wants to set up and then hit hard on our opponent's 2 prizers. Then we have 4 Ultra Ball for finding our Pokemon throughout the game, also great for thinning our hand to be able to grab Mew EX. It can grab our Regieleki VMAXs, or it can grab our Miraidon to grab any of our other basic electric pieces, or grab Lumineon to search out a supporter. Then we also have 1 Nest Ball. Most of our consistency in this deck will be through Miraidon EX's ability, but a singular Nest Ball is also nice for having 5 ball search outs to find the Miraidon in order to actually set up our board. Then we have 4 Electric Generators. These allow us to look at the top 5 cards of our deck and attach up to 2 basic Lightning Energy cards from there to our bench Pokemon in any way we like. We can distribute them as we will, so we could put like 1 on Miraidon and 1 on Raikou attached to Raikou and swing, while still having an extra energy on Miraidon. That's also nice with this. It is literally max Elixir, but it sees 1 less card, but can accelerate 1 additional energy, which is nice. And it's limited to Electric, but still an insane card in this format. We have 1 Escape Rope, which will be rotating out when rotation hits. We will be replacing this with Prime Catcher, as I mentioned earlier. And then we also have a Switch Cart for an additional switching effect that can also heal off some damage if some of our Pokemon have been hit for a bit of chip damage, especially against Lost Box. If they go like Cramorant hit into our Miraidon or a Raikou, Switch Cart will heal us out of range of Cramorant finishing off, or Lost Mine being able to finish it off later in the game as well. We also have 1 Super Rod for being able to shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from our discard pile back into our deck. We'll put that over here. This is great for being able to put back energy as well in order to hit more off of Electric Generator, increasing our odds. It can grab any of the pieces that we maybe needed to discard early off Squawk or Research. It can also grab back Iron Hands EX if we swung with it, but also want to use it again at some other point in the game. Then we have 2 Forest Seal Stones. This is our V-Star power for the game, basically. It lets us search our deck for any 1 card, which is insane. Great consistency card. But only once during the game. Then we have 2 Bravery Charms. This gives the basic Pokemon it's attached to an extra 50 HP, making our Miraidons essentially 270 HP, Iron Hands essentially 280, Raikou essentially 250, or you could put it on like Squawk or Mew in case you want to protect them from spread damage. Then we have 1 EXP Share, which is very useful now that Flaaffy is rotating out. This allows us to, if our active is knocked out, move an energy from it to the Pokemon the EXP Share is attached to, which is really nice for being able to actually keep our energy on the field. Then we have 3 Beach Court for pivoting. This is the main reason why we are only playing 2 switching effects, is because Beach Court is a great pivoting option. It's also a great path bump to make sure that we can continually use our Regieleki or Tandem Unit or Fleet-Footed or Restart. But it's also just a great pivot option, so we can be able to get into whatever we Electric Generator onto, even if we don't have a free Retreater in play. I think 3 Beach Courts is a great number for this. Theoretically, if you wanted to cut down on it and then go up like more switching effects, that's fine. But this is nice because it's like a switching effect, in quotes, that stays on the field. At least until it's removed by our opponent. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 lightning energy. This makes for very good odds for hitting Electric Generator throughout the game. And then we have 1 double turbo energy that we can tutor out, that we could attach to either Mew, Iron Hands, or Regieleki VMAX to be able to pay their costs a little bit easier. Hope you all enjoy this list. I think this will be great in post-rotation. There may be some tweaks that we might want to try, like going up to like a 3-3 Regieleki VMAX maybe, or trying out second Switch Cart with Prime Catcher, maybe going down to 2 Boss. Not 100% sure, needs a little bit of testing, but I thought the theory was really good for a post-rotation Miraidon deck, because this deck for sure does not die. It just loses flaaffy, basically. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any things that you would change about this list, and some lists that you might want me to cover in future videos. And I'll catch you all later. Have a good night.